Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to do some brief analysis comparing Microsoft and Apple stock to determine which one is the better stock to buy for 2023. Of course, this is just going to be a brief review of the two companies. If you want a longer, deeper look into the two, I have got videos on each of them on my channel. If you navigate around, I'm sure you'll find it. I will also link to it at the end if you want a deeper look. By the end of this video, you'll have the answer on which one is the better buy for 2023. Starting with, I'm going to look at year over year quarterly revenue growth. And in the most recent quarter, Microsoft edged out Apple at 10.6% versus 8.12%. And if we look back, Microsoft has usually had the edge over Apple in terms of revenue growth, except for that one boom during the pandemic. Of course, people stuck at home with stimulus checks. They went online and they went to stores and they bought a lot of Apple's products, a lot of iPhones, computers, iPads, and all of that, setting up the home office. Apple's sales boomed more than Microsoft sales boomed in that time. Microsoft sales boomed too. 20% revenue growth is not too shabby, but Apple was way above that, closer to 50% in one of the in the peak quarter. All right, the next metric I'll look at is operating income on a quarterly basis and comparing to the previous year. So year over year operating income growth comparing Apple and Microsoft. And again, going back several years, all the way before 2018, Microsoft typically has the edge in operating income growth, and the one exception was that boom time during the pandemic when sales boomed for Apple. So, uh, again, I would give Microsoft the advantage here in terms of both the quarterly revenue growth and quarterly operating income growth. All right. The next metric I look at is free cash flow, comparing Apple and Microsoft, again going back to 2018. And what I'm looking at is free cash flow year over year growth for both Microsoft and Apple. And again, lots of fluctuations between both of them. And Microsoft clearly not ahead in this one. Um, it's much closer, and in most recent quarter, Apple's 23%, 22.7% growth compared favorably to Microsoft 9.69. And overall, I could see a downward trend evolving for Microsoft free cash flow over the past few years. And opposite, I see an upward trend for Apple since 2019. So Apple gets the edge here in terms of free cash flow growth quarterly year over year. And free cash flow for me, at least, it's one of the most important metrics looking at a company. How much free cash flow is it generating? All right, and the final thing I will look at to determine which one is the better buy for 2023 is their valuation, right? Of course, um, one company could be miles ahead of the other one, but if they're, also much more expensive than the other one, that kind of mutes the point. So, in comparing the valuations, I want to see if the company with that is more expensive has earned that premium valuation. And looking at it here, I compared them based on price to earnings and price to free cash flow. Starting with the price to earnings, Microsoft at 28.2 compared to Apple at 21.58. Microsoft is about 33% more expensive in terms of PE valuation. And then looking at the price to free cash flow, Microsoft at 30.82 compared to Apple at 19.53. Microsoft is about 50% more expensive in terms of price to free cash flow. So overall, Microsoft is significantly more expensive in terms of valuation compared to Apple. And I don't know that Microsoft has earned that premium valuation over Apple. I mean, we looked at a few of the metrics and then looking deeper at the companies. I don't know that Microsoft earns that premium valuation over Apple. Sure, Apple's business is more cyclical and more clunky. with regards to new generations of the iPhone, and it has a lot more risk in terms of product risk. Most of Apple's business is centered around the iPhone, so it could be a little bit more risky in that regard. Still, given those factors, I would still say that Microsoft has not earned this much of a premium valuation compared to Apple. So, then that comes to my answer for which one is the better stock to buy for 2023 and beyond. For that matter, I would say as it stands right now, Apple stock is the better stock to buy for 2023 and beyond. All right, if you want a deeper look at each of these companies, I'll link to the videos at the end of this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.